Now some really disgusting news coming out of Nebraska, where 3 masked men are said to have broken into the house of a 33-year-old lesbian and carved slurs on her face. The police have not said what the slurs were, but an anonymous source who claims to be a friend of the person who was attacked said the word dyke was carved into her body. Now, inside her home, there was also slurs painted on the wall by the intruders, and they additionally tried to set the house and her on fire. Now, clearly, given the fact that this was so well done, she was deliberately targeted, graffiti was deliberately targeted, and the crime scene was attempted to be destroyed, certainly demonstrates that this was a planned attack. And we're supposed to believe that this is not a bad country for homosexual people, and that the United States is supposed to be some kind of beacon for homosexuals in the world, that America is forward and that the society has progressed beyond what it was, is just clearly untrue. And this also speaks very well to the homophobes that exist in society, like Rush Limbaugh and Fox News and other such institutions and people who do spread hatred against gays. While they claim that they're not trying to spread hatred or advocate violence against gays, they just spread the vitriolic lies that whip up the hatred that drive people out to go and do things like this. Are those people directly responsible for this incident? No, I'm not saying that. But they do create the culture of hatred that exists around America's view of homosexuality that makes this situation the way it is, and is so overwhelmingly hateful and vitriolic as it is. Now, with all this going on, it is definitely a shame on the United States what is happening right now. This is not a sign of a progressive society at all. In fact, the United States is one of the least progressive countries in the entire first world because of its stance on many social issues. Of course, many people in the United States are quite happy for it to be that way, which is another great shame in itself. Now, while this is happening, this tremendous violence carried out on a lone woman by 3 obvious cowards, and that's what they are, cowards, we're being told at the same time that it's the rights of gays, which is one of the reasons why we are supposed to march off to war against Iran. The bad treatment that homosexuals do receive in Iran is supposedly one of the selling points that we are supposed to accept in a war against that nation, which would almost certainly kill more people than it is claimed that the invaders would be trying to save. So instead of continually pointing to other countries that are less progressive and how barbaric and supposedly evil that they are, perhaps the citizens of the United States might like to turn that finger upon themselves, particularly the right wing and the conservatives, and take another look at exactly what kind of mentality that they are pushing through the country, and what kind of legacy that they are leaving for the rest of the world to supposedly follow as they hammer on their conception of American exceptionalism and that everybody should be like the United States. They should probably remember incidences like this and take a better look at their own society before the right wing and the conservatives say that we should be marching off to war for something that's almost as bad as what is being done at home.